Right, good morning everybody. Actually, good afternoon. It's 20 to 1. It's so late. We've had a right hectic morning, haven't we, bro?
Yes.
Indeed, visiting and everything. Anyway, today, folks, we're on the lookout. Remember last week I bought a book about cinemas? Well, this is what we're doing today. Bro's in charge of all the cinema information. And our first stop here is in Broughty Ferry, where we're going to be looking at all the old cinemas that used to be here. Here we go. Right, well this is the first of the cinemas. What was this one called here, Bro, behind us here, sorry?
This is called the Broughty Ferry Picture House. In 1916 opened, renamed in 1953 to the Rearers, shut in 1963.
Thank you very much, bro. There we go, so that is... There it is. So folks, it's really miserable weather today. Very miserable weather. I've actually got my waterproofs on. So this is the back of what would have been the cinema here, but unfortunately there's not much to see now.
Quite small, wasn't it?
Yeah, so there it is.
Out here a bit, maybe.
Yeah, maybe this could have been part of it. Actually, it was called Dundee's, Broughty Ferry's second cinema, because it was always half empty seemingly. But there we go. This is the back of.
Over there as well, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. You never know. Yeah. Sort of maybe extended along this way a bit, but
this could be here, maybe.
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Right, folks. Well, this other cinema we're looking for now. It was called the Grand, and it changed its name to the New Grand, and it was at 22 King Street, and it held 800 people. It was a huge cinema, 800 people, and had velvet seats, and they put some really expensive ones with like plush interiors. So I reckon it must have just been round about here, folks. But unfortunately, it did it burn down, bro? Did it burn down? It burned down, unfortunately, as well. So it's round about here somewhere. Probably just the end of King Street here. So this would have been where it was, folks. Just right, probably just right here. Thank you. Lawrence Street. This is it. There's an old map of where it used to be. The Uno Cinema, which was another one that had a bit of a fire drama in 1916. A bit of an electrical fault started a little fire, but fortunately there was a fire engine or a fire station just at the back of it.
I'm going to try and find the fire station.
They managed to alert it. So let's go.
Check out my channel. I'm going to find the fire station. He's going to find the cinema.
Let's see where it is. Let's just go. So this is where the Uno Cinema would have been, folks. Just it's now Safeways. There it is, right there. Sorry, not Safeways. Marks and Spencer's it is now called. But that's exactly where it would have been. Quite a lot of cinemas in a small area. Broughty Ferry was actually heavily populated by cinemas. So there it is, folks. Just right where the car park is. Thank you. Right, folks, behind me there we have the Regal Cinema. This is the one in Broughty Ferry that Bro and I used to go to all the time. Now go and check out Bro's channel, Behind the Scenes with Stu Betty, for all the films we've been to see there. But this is it, the Regal Cinema. Jan, we used to live just up the road there, folks, so it was nice and handy for us to come down here. And again, it was a great Saturday afternoon thing for Bro and I to do. We would come down here and watch the matinee. We'd be sent out to watch the film. Bro, how rude you are. You've done it again. Anyway, we used to come here every Saturday afternoon. Right, so there it is. That would have been the main entrance would have been just about here. The Regal, you would go in. It changed into a bingo hall back in the sort of the 90s. But you used to be able to see right through the back there and get to have a look at all the old sort of furnishings and things. But I think it seems to be getting done up again. There it is. Yeah, look, you can still see the original balcony features and things. Look. Yeah, this used to be the. I've still got the. The original fixtures and fittings are still here. Look, that's amazing, isn't it? So this would have been the balcony. Yes, look, there's the balcony there, folks. There it is. There's the balcony, look. There we go. There it is, look, the balcony. Excellent. Still there. Fantastic. There it is. Excellent.
Right.
What's happened? Oh, disaster, sorry. Right, where are we, bro? Right, folks, there it is. That used to be cinema. Right, folks, well, behind me there you see what used to be La Scala, the famous film house here in Dundee. Now, as you can see from the original picture that I'll put on here, the dome and the top kind of facade stuff has all gone. Now, the very first picture to be shown here was, what was it, bro?
Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin. It was a Charlie Chaplin flick that was here. So again, as you can see, it's just, the facade is still there, it's fantastic. It's just the...
That's a silent movie thing.
Oh, is that,
there's no talking.
Need to put some keyboard stuff on this while we're here. But there you go, that's now Dingy Men below it. So there you go, folks. That used to be another famous picture house here in Dundee. We're getting looked at quite a lot. It's the ABC, folks. Here it is. ABC. Now behind us then, that used to be the ABC, folks. Now, bro seems to remember this being, what, split into two cinemas?
Yeah, it was ABC and then it got split into two cinemas.
Did it?
Yeah.
I can't remember that at all.
Yeah.
Now, the films I remember going here to see, I remember going to see, I'm sure it was Star Wars we saw here. We got taken along as a surprise. I remember seeing ABBA the movie here. Once again, I've seen a couple of James Bond films. Just loads of films that we saw here. So there it is, folks. The old ABC. It's now Rewind or something. It's been several things, but it was basically a cinema. Well, now, seeing as we're going on about films, there's something rather filmic here. Right here, folks. Here we go. Look, Peter Feathers, cinema entrepreneur, gave his first screening in Dundee here, 6th of October 1896. Peter Feathers, awesome. Right, folks, here we have the most famous cinema in Dundee. It is. Right, folks, there it is. Pardon? Yes, well, behind us there is the Greens, what used to be called the Greens Playhouse. It's now Mecca Bingo, obviously. Now, with me working for Mecca Bingo, you think I would be able to get up the tower, but unfortunately, there's just no way at the moment, but you never know, folks. So this is obviously Dundee's most famous cinema that actually got burned down in 1999 or something. I had to get re-gutted and refurbed and everything, so, but it's still standing, folks. Yes, it is. There it is. Thank you. Right, folks, well, behind me there, now you see the Overgate car park. It was a bit windy, but that used to be the Kinnaird Cinema. Until it got burned down. When, bro, was it, did you say?
1966.
1966, yeah. It burned down. Fantastic old building it was. Absolutely wonderful. So there it is, but that is now what we have instead. Ah, man, yes. There we go. There we go, that's it. That used to be the Kinnaird Cinema, folks, just around about here. Right folks, well this one here, this used to be the, this was the Odeon, wasn't it? The Odeon Cinema, there it is. Now this is the cinema that Bro and I sneaked into when we were about 15 to see zombie flesh eaters. We got our sports jackets on and there we go. And so that was it, man. That was the cinema. I think it was called, I think it was the Odeon. I'm sure it was the Odeon. So there it is, folks. Right behind us there. There used to be a Chinese restaurant right beside it as well. It was called the Continental. We used to go there as well. And for £8 or something, that was our pocket money saved up over the weeks, we would get a meal and 3 or 4 pints and also a bus home as well. So yeah, it's still there, the Continental restaurant. There it is, folks, look. Chinese restaurant and ballroom. There it is. I remember dancing to Adam and the Ants on that one there, so there it is. Fantastic. There it is. Yeah, I don't care. There we go. Fantastic. Right folks, well that's our Dundee stroll. Did you enjoy your Dundee stroll? I did a Dundee stroll. You did, bro. So in the end I ended up buying old Newport and Wormit, old Arbroath, a map of Dundee, an old map. So yes, that's us folks, we're done. I hope you enjoyed our little stroll around looking at the old cinemas and all the other bits and pieces that go with it. It's 4:10 folks. I'm exhausted. See you later.